Welcome to lesson number 9. In this lesson we will make the navigation bar and we're gonna give it some extra spark to just make the thing look a little bit more fancy. So let's get into it. Our navigation bar is gonna look something like this, just a few titles that you can click on. So let's make that happen. Like always, we first add the content in HTML to get it on the page and then make it look beautiful with CSS. So let's first add it really quickly, and we're gonna do that in this bar, which is called nav, and that is because it is the navigation bar. In here I'm gonna type UL, which stands for unordered list. You could actually, in theory, make this navigation bar with headers, so like H2 and H3 and all of that kind of stuff, but this is just a little bit of a different way to do things that is better for certain reasons which are not very important to know at this point. But within this unordered list we make a list item, so LE, and in the list item we can type the title of a page like home, and we have created our first navigation title. Let's now add some more, and we add all of these titles in the unordered list. They are all list items, so and we're gonna make 5 of them. So I'm gonna copy this one 5 times actually. And we don't need all of these spaces, so let's bring this back up. Let's call this pictures, about us, more, and let's make the last one contact. And there we go. You can already see home and pictures, but you can't see the rest, and that is simply because this list is now going from top to bottom, and we can change this by changing the flex direction, and that is something that we need to change in CSS. So let's do that. Here in CSS I'm first gonna give it a little title to stay organized, just like this, nav bar and start, of course. And I'm first gonna target the UL, which is the whole list of titles, curly brackets, and I'm gonna say flex direction row. And it did not work. Why? Well, I did not declare the display type flex, right? We always need to do that, and there we go. Now it's going from left to right, although it still looks pretty ugly, so let's fix that. Some items have some standard attributes built in, like this title has some padding or margin around it. You can delete this, just as you can delete these bullet points that come with all of the list items. And this is actually really simple. You just need to type list style type none, and now all of our bullet points are gone, and this will be the last time that I rhyme. Whoa. So let's look at what we have got right now. Well, there is obviously one thing that we need to change, and that is that there needs to be a little bit of space between all of these titles. And this we can obviously do with margin or padding, but we can't do that right here, because if I add margin in right here, it is just gonna do it around all of these items and not between them. So instead of targeting the whole unordered list, I'm gonna target all of the list items. LE, curly brackets, margin 10 pixels. Oh, margin 10 pixels. And there we go. And something else has changed as well. All of the titles have moved down, and it's because we have put margin around all of the items, and because of that they have now been pushed down. You can change this multiple ways. We can make this margin only appear on the left or the right, so let's make that right, and now it's in the middle again, but we should also add in align items center. And now it's time to make sure that all of this stuff aligns the right way, because if I now make this page bigger, it's gonna stay on the left, and we want to align it with this stuff, so we need to change some things. So I'm going to use a technique that we used before, and that is make a box around it and align that box on this bar. And we have actually already created this box, because I'm going to make the UL that box. I'm going to give the UL a fixed width of 700 pixels. And let's just for now give the background color, so that way we can see what we are doing. Let's make that red for now. And now I want to center the UL, so the unordered list, in the navigation bar. And to center things with the flex method, we need to target the box that they're in. I'll keep saying that. So I'm going to target the nav, curly brackets, display type flex, justify content, center. And there we go. The width of the UL was just a bit of a guess. And I'm now going to change it until it matches up with the width of all of these pictures. And that way we can align it with the whole page. So let's try 600. How's that looking? Now let's give it a little bit more. 620. Let's just make it 610. Well, good enough, I think. So we have now aligned the unordered list properly. If I change the size, the red bar stays in the right position. The next thing we need to do is align the text within that red bar to the left. Justify content left, and then it should be aligned to the left, but it's not doing that. If I do right, it will go to the right. Yes, that works. Why is this happening? Well, we can check that with the inspector. Let's go to our navigation bar and let's look at this. What is happening right here? There seems to be some padding on the left. Why is there some padding? Well, I don't know. It is probably a default value. Luckily, we can remove these values. So let's go in and type padding 0. Does that fix the problem? Yes. Clearly, something else has changed as well, and that is the width of the red bar. But this is not a big problem because we can fix this very easily by changing this pixel value. Let's try 630. That's already very close. 640. We're getting there. Well, that seems right to me. All of our content in the navigation bar is aligned correctly, but it's now time to make it a little bit less ugly. So let's change this to black. And now we can't see the text, but that will change when we change the color of the text in the list items. You can type color and let's make it white. And there we go. Now we can see the text again. And let's also make the background of the navigation bar itself black. And we made it aqua right here, but we're gonna make it black instead. And there we go. It is that easy. There are just a few more things that I want to change to just make it a little bit more beautiful. And the first thing is that I want to make the text a bit bolder, which should not really be a problem. We're just gonna go to the list items and we're gonna say font weight bold. And as you can see, all of the text has become a little bit thicker. The next thing that I want to change is the color of the item that is selected. And the theory is that you could click on one of these titles and that would bring you to the page that is associated with that. And when you're, for instance, on the pictures page, I want that to be blue. And actually, now I'm looking at it, I think that we can use a little bit more space between all of these titles. So let's change the margin on the right to 20. Yeah, 25 will do. Let's make home blue because we're on the home screen right now. We could do this a few different ways. We could, for instance, give home its own ID, target that, change the color. But that is a little bit annoying to do for every page. So what we will do instead is a bit of CSS magic. So we're going to type list ... nth child. And now we're going to type 1. After this, you can type curly brackets like always and change the color to, well, let's make it blue. And it has just turned blue. And to explain what is going on, we have targeted the list items and told the first child to be blue. If I change this number to 2, the second child, the second list item, is going to be blue. And this means that I can just copy this over to the next page, just change the number, and I'm done. So I'm going to try to make it the proper blue color, which is, well, that is close, I suppose. Yeah, well, that's all right. Let's make it that color. This is also one of the advantages of using list items in our menus instead of headings. We have now made this beautiful navigation bar, but it doesn't actually do anything because you're supposed to click on these things and go to different pages. So the first thing to understand is how you make different pages. And that is actually really simple because you can see I have the index.html page, which is our home page. And if I want another page, I can just copy this page, rename it to, let's call this one then pictures. And now I have a second page. Let's just, for the experiment, give this a little bit of a different title. That way we can see the difference. Pictures. and you don't see anything changing on the page. That is because we are still looking at the index page. But if we can now go to this page, you would see a different title. And now we have gotten to the point that we need to make these things clickable. Let's go back to our index.html and let's now make pictures go to pictures.html. So we need to type the A attribute right here. Oh, that doesn't work like that. A. And within this first tag, we need to type href, enter. And within here, we're going to type pictures.html. The word pictures needs to be between the A tags because that way it becomes the link. If I now click on this link, we go to the other page with the different title. As you can see, I made it pictures and it is pictures. And if we would do the same thing right here and direct that to the index.html, it would be able to bring us back to the previous page. We would just need to make some anchors like this, put in our href attribute, href index.html, and put this tag behind the word home. And now we can go back and forth between these two pages. There we go. But as you can see, the color of the things that link to things has changed. So we need to, well, bring that back to normal really quickly. And you can do that by going to your CSS. In here, I'm going to type A, which is going to target all of the A tags, the anchor tags, curly brackets. And in here, we're going to type text decoration none. And as you can see, the line is gone now. And now I'm going to say color white. And now the color is white again. And by the way, a little trick that I figured out, if you make this one a link, this little bit of code that we made right here to make it blue doesn't actually work anymore. I'll show you. If I make home a link as well, and I'll link that to my own website, because why not? Some free promotional material, eh? And as you can see, it's not blue anymore. And the only thing you need to do to fix this is add an A just before the curly bracket. And now it's back. So if you want to make all of these clickable, you just need to put A tags around the words, make more pages, connect them to each other, and that's how that works. And the last thing that we are going to do in this lesson is really unnecessary but fun, and that is a hover function. So if you hover with your mouse over the word, the color will change. And that works just like this. If I type le ... hover, curly brackets, and then change the color to, let's say, oranged. Now, if I hover over this word, it changes color. Pictures doesn't work, and that is because it has those A tags around it. So if I want that one to work, I need to add an A in here. And now only this one works, but these ones don't. And that can easily be fixed by giving these two A tags as well. So let's do that really quickly. But we have now reached the end of this lesson. I would like to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye bye.